Last, defendant argues that his two convictions for home invasion violate one act, one crime principles. The one act, one crime rule prohibits multiple convictions where more than one offense is carved from a single physical act. Where a defendant acts with another, he may be charged as a principal based on his own criminal acts and as an accomplice based on the criminal acts of another. But once the defendant's guilt as a principal is established, a separate conviction for the same crime based on accountability will not stand. In this case, the state charged defendant and Graves jointly with 2 counts of home invasion, alleging that defendant and Graves entered Woods' home knowing it was occupied. The indictment charged home invasion in count 1 based on defendant's use of force on Rogers while armed with a dangerous weapon, and in count 2 based on Graves' intentional infliction of injury to Rogers. Thus, each defendant was charged as a principal for his own conduct and as an accomplice for the conduct of the other. The jury found defendant guilty on both charges. On similar facts, our Supreme Court ruled that only one conviction for home invasion can stand. In Hicks, as here, the defendant and a co-defendant entered a residence together. Once inside, Hicks battered one victim while his co-defendant battered another. As here, the state charged Hicks as a principal for his own conduct and as an accomplice for the conduct of his co-defendant. Hicks was convicted on both charges. On review, the Supreme Court rejected the state's position that unlawful entry into the house of 2 assailants supported the 2 convictions. The court held that one act, one crime principles required that a defendant in this situation be convicted only for an offense based on his own entry into the home. Hicks, 181, Illinois 2nd, 541. 230, Illinois Appeal, 244, 693, Northeastern 3rd, 373. In our opinion, Hicks is dispositive of the parties' arguments in this case. Pursuant to Hicks, defendant's conviction for home invasion based on accountability for intentionally causing injury to Rogers must be vacated. Because the record before us indicates that the trial court may have considered both home invasion convictions when sentencing defendant a 25-year term of imprisonment, the cause must be remanded for resentencing. People v. Smith, 275, Illinois Appellate, 3rd, 207, 211, Illinois Appeal, 746, 655, Northeastern 3rd, 112, 1995. For the reasons stated, we affirm defendant's conviction for aggravated battery with a firearm and one conviction for home invasion. We vacate his other conviction for home invasion and we remand the cause for resentencing. The Union for Cities Employees filed unfair labor practice charges with the State Labor Relations Board, alleging that the city engaged in an unfair labor practice by refusing to comply with the provision of collective bargaining agreement addressing bidding for job vacancies. After both parties filed exceptions to the recommended decision of the administrative law judge, the board decided in favor of Union, ordering City to comply with job vacancy provision. City filed petition for administrative review. The appellate court held that 1, as a matter of first impression, appellate court would review board's finding that collective bargaining agreement was created to determine whether it was against manifest weight of the evidence. Against 2, agreement between Union and City was formed when City Council approved agreement. 3, agreement was valid despite not being reduced to a signed document. 4, transfer provision of agreement was not in conflict with City's duty under statute providing for filling civil service positions. 5, transfer provision was a mandatory subject of bargaining. And 6, Union made request to bargain regarding transfer provision. Affirmed.